Welcome back to Norrath. So today we are taking a boat and we are heading to the estate of Unrest. And if you look at the map on your screen, and to help you orientate yourself, there is a big red X on the world map right where we're sitting at the moment. And from here we are going to be heading to the estate itself. I want to go by boat because this is going to be one of the methods you can use to get here. You can travel overland by road down from Kaladin, since we are on the western coast of Trydar. But the main way I would choose to get here is to take a boat from Freeport over the Ocean of Tears, and we can head along the coast here because we're looking for a small dock, which we see ahead of us here. So we will go over to the beach and exit our boat. And from here we will head up the jetty along the small roadway here, which of course leads us to the estate of Unrest. Of course, Unrest is not its original name. This is what it is called now because unfortunately the estate has fallen on rather hard times. Here's to be another sign. I'd turn back if I were you. Well, you're not me, and I don't listen to strange signs. So we will continue on our way. I'm not going to let any signs deter us. There's another one. Okay, then, it's your funeral. You know, I think these signs are trying to tell me something, but I just can't put my finger on what it is. But never mind that. Let us continue along the roadway here. Not a very long road, but it leads us straight to the entrance of Unrest itself, which, as you can see, is a Roman triumphal arch, which I have put out a tutorial for this as a small Roman nether portal. But Unrest is the design I originally made this for. And as we enter through the gateway, we can see the estate itself. And it's obviously done in a very grand Roman and Palladian style. And as we head up the main entranceway here, we can see that our vista is meant to be framed on either side by these small buildings. We can also see we have some lion statues flanking the right and the left, and a pleasing fountain here in the middle of the main courtyard as well. And if we step back a little, we will see that there are actually a lot of formal gardens that surround the front sections. We've got a big formal hedge garden there, a smaller one over here with trimmed hedges and ornamentally sculpted trees. The trees are of course sculpted in a corkscrew design, as you can see done here. They're sort of like very large topiaries of a sort. And in the hedges here, one of the things I like to do with my formal gardens is to use netherrack as mulch in between the hedges. And the red is a very nice high contrast color. It also pairs very pleasingly well with the darker greens. Another material you could use for this is soul sand, would also work well here. And podzol in some circumstances can work to your advantage as well. But that's just a little tip for creating formal gardens of your own like this. They're really easy to do. All you have to do is make out a square or a rectangle of whatever size you need, and then start placing down hedges and intersperse those with rows of either grass or netherrack or whatever material you choose to use, and sprinkle trees around either on the sides or around the middle. Now on the sides here, we can see some small buildings. And these are meant to be sort of guest houses on the top, also houses for the servants. But down below here, they're also meant to be stables and barns for the various animals, because this is also a farm estate. But I haven't decorated those out yet. We just have the main structural interior, so it's a bit blank. But as you can see, it is a Roman barrel vault, but we have some rib vaulting in between the main arches done with diorite and red nether brick. And we have a entrance on either side of those out here as well. And both of these buildings are copies of each other and are of exactly the same design. I haven't put in a stairwell, though. I'm still kind of building this. There are rooms up here, but there's no way to get into them unless I want to break the windows. So let's continue our tour around the exterior. Now, as you can see, the design of this is done in a typical sort of a Palladian fashion, with the rusticated arches down below here. And as you increase the height of the building, things become more ornamented. In other words, we have very flat and blocky things at the bottom, but at the top, we have very decorative things with our entablature and Corinthian capitals and our pediment and fennels and everything else. So around the side here, we have some more formal gardens. We also have a little archway on both sides of these. Is meant to serve as a transition to let you know you're leaving the front section and you're entering around the back of the manor house. And around back here also, there are some smaller side buildings, again meant to accentuate the main structure. There are also a few Roman soldier statues in their formal gardens. And around back we have the main section of the back area here, which is meant to be sort of a very pleasant outdoor space. It includes a reflection pool and a colonnade surrounding the pool, and also a glassed roof pavilion over here as well. So if you wanted to use this for like an outside party, or just a nice place to sit in the sun and read a book or something. There are also lots of potted plants around here of this design. Some lit netherrack braziers. And of course, we have our main reflection pool here. And the shaders, they capture a little bit of the reflections. It's supposed to reflect the entire house, is the main purpose of the reflection pool. But of course, since Unrest is abandoned and also somewhat haunted, we have lily pads growing in the pool instead of the clean water that one might expect. And let's not spend too much time on the exterior. There's a lot of interior things to take a look at. So let me briefly talk about the arches on the side here, because these are a Roman feature that I borrowed from Emperor Hadrian's villa at Tivoli. And also the reflection pool beside those as well. We have a standard column and entablature feature here, but over here we have an arch made out of the entablature, which is one of the things the Romans would do. Then it goes straight again, then another arch, then straight again, and then into another arch. Another thing the Romans did in the 2nd century was to put arches into the triangular sections of the pediments of their temples, which you can see done here. I don't believe they had glass roofs like this. This is a more modern feature. But the concept comes off looking pretty well over here, as you can see. And we do have a circular section of an apse where the colonnade intersects with the pavilion. It's a very nice feature. It's also surrounded by smaller sections of formal gardens around here at the back. And there is also a stair that we can climb up as well. Around here, there are various ways to get up and down into the structure. This is the way that you would get around back, and this would go into the interior sections in there, which we're going to work our way up to that. But we have our semicircular pediment around the back here, and the triangular one is around the front here. Now, let us land and go inside the mansion itself. We have quite a lot to take a look at in there. As you can see, you enter the mansion itself by going underneath any one of these 2 arches on the side, underneath the pediment up there. And that immediately brings us to these sets of double doors, which if we go in, this will lead us into the ground floor of the mansion, which as you can see has bedrock and obsidian floors and finely carved coffered ceilings with black stone on the walls here and spruce interspersed in amongst those. And we have our double door design over here with upside down stairs and chiseled stone bricks. These aren't lodestones, these are chiseled stone bricks. I like the texture so much that I just ripped it off of that and put it for my chiseled stone bricks, so don't let that throw you, but it is a very pleasing texture, actually, I think. It looks much more like chiseled stone bricks than the default ones do. But there are various side rooms over here. And over here as well. Of course, they all are currently unfurnished, because that is the next step now that the house is structurally complete. We have to go through all these little rooms and put things in them. Because Unrest itself is actually supposed to be a haunted mansion, so we're going to have to turn it into that over time. So let us go up to the next floor. And as we go up these stairs here, we're on the second floor. And we see that the wall color changes to red nether brick, letting us know that things are getting a little bit nicer. I believe the height of the ceiling is about the same. It might actually be a block higher. I think it is. Yes. And as we ascend up these stairs here, one of the things you will notice is that the ceiling height starts increasing because the rooms are a lot nicer. But the general design of these rooms are all pretty much the same. If you've seen one, you have seen the rest of them, so we will continue up the stairs here. And this will bring us to the third floor, which is actually the entrance around the back here that I showed you previously. And this takes us to the main room of the house. This room is the largest room in the mansion. And as you can tell, we have 4 chandeliers hanging down from the ceiling, as well as some lit fireplaces on either end of the room. I'll give you a good look at these. Of course, it is just a bit of burning netherrack because I play with fire tick off. But these are actually directly under the chimneys that are on the top of the roof. They're not just there for show, they are actually connected to the chimney system within the house. And let me give you a good slow view around the room here. Let's actually go outside to the front porch, which is where we entered in. So there is a way for you to get out over there. And this room is meant to be sort of a grand dining room with a big table and chairs and everything on the sides here. There is another room just like it that is on the other side of the hall that would be the grand library. But they are currently not built out, they just are empty rooms at present. But let us continue our tour on. We need to keep going up the stairs to see the rest of the house. You can see we do have some small wooden columns with fine carved Corinthian capitals on those, and we have 4 of those. And they sort of frame and screen off the stairwell. So if we head up our grand staircase, we come to the next level. This is where you would find sort of the private rooms, and the bedrooms are going to be at this level. There's some more stairs, which we'll be going up presently. And let's take a look in some of the rooms here. We have some more and smaller fireplaces. Here, these would be sort of for bedrooms. This would be sort of the private chambers, a less formal and more intimate room. And flanking those on either side, we have more bed chambers on the sides here with their fireplaces in them. So let us continue up the stairs a bit more to this level. As you can see down below, we had the walls were lapis, and down below these we had prismarine, dark prismarine for those, and here again we are back to the red nether brick. Because generally when I do my walls, I like to favor the darker, more richly textured colors used for those. And we have some smaller rooms flanking all of these areas as well. And this is actually the top of the manor house itself. It's sort of the attic spaces. So let us go down through these stairs and give you a good sort of at a glance how the manor house itself is laid out. And we'll go down through here, turn around, go down here again, and we are on the ground floor. And that takes us out of the house itself. So I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Estate of Unrest. For those of you that are familiar with this zone from EverQuest, I hope you like what I have done with the reinterpretation of it. Future things to do over here are, of course, to add all the furniture inside and make it look very haunted and spooky. And other things that need to be done are to add some more buildings in the woods around here, as well as several underground sections, I think, also. And for those of you that have downloaded version 1.2, if you will look in the lower left-hand corner, you will see the teleport coordinate codes that you can type in to teleport to Unrest yourself. And if you use them, it will take you down here to the arch where we started the video at. Which means this is going to be a rare time that you can actually go and visit what I've showed you today in the video. You're not going to have to wait for version 1.3 because this is already in version 1.2, and I wanted to put it there sort of an Easter egg to be a surprise for you. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.